was cracking. So I wanted to do a video, some metal record. I wanted to do a video responding to a question by one of the subscribers, Michael. Michael asked how I've been able to learn how to trust people, and Michael said that's one of the biggest things in his life, one of the biggest hurdles in his life. And so they say it's not respectful to answer a question with a question, but in this case I have to ask you a question. All right, so obviously you've changed, or you're in the process of changing, and you're dealing with things, right? And so my question to you is, as you sit now, the man you are right now, and you look back on the younger you, was the younger you somebody who was trustworthy? And not just like to the homies, like the homies could depend on you or anything like that, but as a total package, as a human being, were you trustworthy? Would you not try to get over on people at any time? Try to rob somebody, be willing to smoke somebody? Like, these are questions that, ask yourself that. And more than likely, if you're honest with yourself, you have to admit you are not a trustworthy person, right? And you were dealing with people that weren't trustworthy. I mean, it's a trip when I look back, and you know, when we were young, and what's one of the fucking favorite tattoos that a lot of youngsters got on themselves? Trust no man. And yet you trusted him, right? It's right there, you know. Motherfucker put a big old trust no man right here, and I'm gonna go kill somebody with him. But so now, in asking yourself that question, was I a trustworthy person back then? Now, right now, the man that you are watching this video right now, are you dependable? Are you trustworthy? Do you try to be of service to people in whatever way? Do you try to put your family first and not be a selfish person? I'm sure the answer there is yes, right? So if you know the person that you were, and you can now recognize who you are now, that right there is the reason why you should be more willing to trust other people now. You know, a man should never worry about that which he can't control. So you can't control what other people do, but you can control how you treat them. And how you treat others is likely how they'll want to treat you back. And the ones that will treat you otherwise, you just move on. So for me, that's my answer for you, man. I used to think when I was a fucking crook and I was a criminal, I used to think, you know, I'm a stand-up dude, you know, but how? When you know, yeah, I was out, you know, doing things to other people, but never once thinking of my own family. So there were so many victims I was creating everywhere, and excuse me. But I know that I know the person I am now. I know that my heart is much different now, and that's why I do these videos, man. You know, but hopefully that helps you and that answers your question. There was another subscriber, I wish I would have wrote down your name, man, and you asked about anxiety and depression. Anxiety is normal. I don't think there's anybody that's done time in prison, especially if you've done over a decade, who hasn't at some point dealt with anxiety. Most of the time you don't know what it is when it hits you. You just like, what the fuck was that? You know, because it'll come and it'll go. It's the guys that get caught up into hoping it doesn't happen again. They get caught up in that cycle of it happening to them, right? And it's not, you know, people want to think, you know, they don't want to admit they've had some anxiety, and, you know, because they think that's weakness. The reality is, prison is built to subject your subconscious to constant stress to where it'll break. And you see motherfuckers go crazy because of it. And it isn't that you're scared. It isn't that you can't do your time. It's that your subconscious is always trying to figure out all these things that you're not even aware of. And so one of the things that I learned, and it's in cognitive behavioral thinking and cognitive behavioral therapy, is if you feel some anxiety brewing, just understand it's normal. This is something that's in our genes. It's our fight or flight instinct, right? But what you do is first concentrate on your breathing. Make sure you're taking deep breaths, right? And then ask yourself, as you feel it happening, what's going on right now? What's around me? What is the thing that's bothering me? And if you can figure that out, it'll go away. You know, depression. Some people mistake sadness for depression. I think depression, you know, obviously my mom, you guys know my mom killed herself in 2000. My mom was struggling with depression. My mom blamed herself for the decisions that I chose to make. You know, and I couldn't change her mind otherwise. And I was not, at the time my mom did it, I was not a guy who was very loving in my letters. I didn't call home a lot. There was a lot of shit going on. It's unfortunate. It's something that I have to live with. But sadness and depression are completely different things. I personally have never dealt with depression, so I would be it wouldn't be right for me to speak on that. I don't know. So I don't know what to say on there, man, but I wanted to make sure I at least touched on those two things real quick, man, and hopefully everybody's having a good evening, and I'll holler at you.